Okay, this is the P2 paper from January 2023. This one is question number 9, which is an integration question. We're going to be working out the area under curves and the area between curves and lines. Quite a big question, as you can see, but we'll just do each part separately and then see where we get to. So let's have a look at part A. So for part A, it says we've got the curve with this equation. This is y equals x squared minus 4x plus 5. That's this curve here. We've got the line y equals 2. We can see that C intersects with the x-axis at point D, y-axis, sorry, at point D. And the first thing it says is, can we work out the coordinates of D? So let's have a look at that. That's very straightforward. Part A, we've got that the curve is y equals x squared minus 4x plus 5. And for D, we know that if it hits the y-axis, x is equal to 0. So x is equal to 0, y would be 0 squared, 4 lots of 0, plus 5. Y is going to be equal to 5, and they want the coordinates. So D is the point 0, 5. So that's part A done, and on there I'm going to put that value there is 5. We already know that this value here is 2 because it's the line y equals 2. Excuse me, it then says curve C intersects with the line L at the points E and F. Here's my curve, here's my line. Yeah, I can see that they are intersecting at E and F, which algebraically will be where those two things are equal to each other, where they meet. So it asked me to find the x coordinates of E and F. I can do that nice and easily then. So for part B, for E and F, what do we have as our lines? We've got y equals x squared minus 4x plus 5, and we've got y equals 2, and they're just going to be equal to each other. So if they're equal to each other, I'm going to get x squared minus 4x plus 5 equals 2, which simplifies to x squared minus 4x plus 3 equals 0. And for this style of question, I would absolutely assume that these are going to factorize. They do. We get that x equals 3, or we get that x equals 1. So that means I found the coordinates for that, and on my diagram now, I could put in that if I needed to, those two values are 1 and 3 there. Okay, and then part C says, shown in the figure 3 are the two regions R1 and R2. Yeah, I can see those two regions. Work out K if K is the area of R1 divided by the area of R2. So let's have a little bit closer look at this diagram. Right, if I wanted to work out this area, all of that bit there, that's simply the area under the curve between 1 and 0. So that would be the integral of x squared minus 4x plus 5 dx. That would give me all of that, but actually I only want this bit here. So what I'd need to do would be to subtract that area there, and that area there is just a rectangle, it's just 2 times 1. Now, we could do it in a different way. We could do it as trying to work out this length as being y2 minus y1, etc., etc. But that's just more confusing, I think, for this particular style. Do each question as it comes. Here, what I'm going to then do, let's explain to the examiner, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, okay, just put that over there. Part C, for R1 at least, R1 is going to be the integral under the curve minus the area of the rectangle. And then we can go ahead and work out the integral of that. So remember, integration, add 1 onto the power divided by the new power. Add 1 onto the power divided by the new power. You might put 2x squared, but I'm just doing it slowly. And obviously 5 just integrates to x there. So the answer to that, minus the area of that rectangle, was just 2 times 1. So this works out to be 1/3 That's minus 2 plus 5 if I put 1 in, minus, and then it's 0, minus 0 plus 0 for the others. You don't really need to do that. I'm just showing what we're doing here. Minus 2, that works out to be 10 over 3 minus 2, which works out to be 4 over 3. So the area of R1, all of this bit here, then that bit there is now given by 4 over 3. How am I going to work out this area R2? Well, I'm not even going to need to do any integration for that. That's going to be the area of this triangle minus the area under the curve, minus 4/3. That will give me R2. Let's make that clear to the examiner. So for R2 now, we're going to say it's the area of the triangle minus R1. What is the area of that triangle? What have we got? We've got here height is equal to 3. Base is equal to 3 as well, so that's nice and easy. That's just going to be half base times height, so half 3 times 3, but then minus the 4 over 3. Do all that on the calculator. That works out to be 19 over 6, apparently. And then remember, K was just area R1 over area R2, which in other words is 4 over 3 over 19 over 6. Stick it on the calculator, and that works out to be 8 over 19, which is then, yeah, that's all we wanted. Find exact value of K, give your answer as a simplified fraction. Done that, so that's question number 9 all completed. Hopefully that all makes sense to you all.